Hi friends! Happy, gosh, whatever day of the month it is. It doesn't really matter because I'm doing my November TBR. I was going through all of my reading goals for the year and I need to prioritize it was a Bookstagram challenge where you had friends recommend 12 books that you wanted to read. And if I can find the graphic, I will put it right here. I have quite a few I haven't read yet this year, so I'm going to make those a priority in November. And I'm gonna go through that list here right now with the ones that I have. I just picked up a ton of books from the library for this challenge. Here's my stack. The very first one is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And this is a classic novel, a modern classic. I think it was written in it was written in the 40s. It's just about, I think, a girl coming of age in a row home apartment building, I think in New York City. I've started it before and I liked it. I frequently do this where I start a book and I put it down. So this is one, it's a classic I wanted to read. I have a lot of friends that have really loved this and they're friends that I trust their opinions of, and the person who recommended it is somebody I trust. So A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. And then The Widow of Rose House by Diana Biller. This is, I think, a ghost romance maybe. It sounds awesome. 1875, Gilded Age New York, a Gothic mansion, a woman shadowed by a tragic past, and the man who loves her. So my friend Mary recommended this to me, and it just sounds really cool. I really like Gothic books. I also really like the Gilded Age. So this has all those vibes. There's romance in it, sign me up. This one actually feels like a really good fall read. So that's what I'm very pumped about, that I was really excited was recommended to me. I think she has some other books too that I've heard are really great as well. The Reading List by Sarah Anisha Adams is the Modern Mrs. Darcy book club pick, I think, for November too. So I've actually kind of held off on reading this for that reason. This is a book that's an ode to reading. I think I'll really like it. It says, one of the blurbs is, if you love books, read this. If you love people, read this. If you love crying with sadness, crying with happiness, and feeling like you've been wrapped in the blanket of someone else's life, read this. So I think I'll like it. I love books about books. I love books about reading and how they draw people together. So I was really excited for this recommendation. I do not remember who recommended this to me. And then my friend Brooke recommended this to me. It's The Feather Thief by Kirk Wallace Johnson. It's nonfiction, and it's blurbed as beauty, obsession, and the natural history heist of the century. It's true crime and has something to do, I think, with someone stealing rare bird feathers. It's not super long, but for nonfiction November, this will be a really good read. Brooke said it was really short and she just really loved it, and it was just not something she would have picked up. So I'm really pumped about this. And Codename Helene, I've read 2 of Ariel Lahan's other works, her Anastasia one, and then The Wife, the Maid, and the Mistress. I do really like her style of writing. This is nonfiction. I think it's about code breaking in World War II. I've been hesitant to pick this one up because I love Kate Quinn and I'm also a little over World War II, but I do like Ariel Lahan. So I'm excited for this, but this is probably the one I'm the most reserved about because my experience with both of her other books was that most of the book was really good, but the ending kind of felt like a letdown. And that was for both of them. So I'm excited, but I'm hesitant. So it is Codename Helene by Ariel Lahan. And then Bailey recommended this one. It's An Enchantment of Ravens. I started it last month, but it had to come back to the library, so I returned it. But this is just a fantasy novel. I think she's written some other very popular fantasy series that I've never read. So I'm not sure much about this. It's fae. I think there's some art in it. I don't know, but it sounds good. And then on my Kindle, I have I'm Still Here by Austin Channing Brown, and that was also recommended to me. That's another nonfiction November one. If I get to it, I'll get to it. Okay, so then my personal book club that I'm in with my best friends, we are doing different themes. We've been meeting now for 3 years. And so the first year it was just we picked books. And then last year we did genres, I think is what we did. And you just had, if it was your month, you recommended a book on that genre. And then this year we're doing award winners, and it's been interesting. Like, it's not been I haven't read the best books. They've felt smarter. I've had to DNF a few. So I'm a little nervous. I got the National Book Award this year for my month I'm hosting in November. But the book I chose was The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. It's a chunker. I have quite a few chunkers this month, which is not a good sign. But anyways, The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood is the book that I picked for our book club I'm hosting. Okay. And then I get Illumicrate boxes, and you will see an unboxing in some video, maybe this one, I haven't really decided. But this month I got like a pack of reading prompt cards, and so I'm going to draw the reading cards now, and you'll see what I got. Okay, so I'm going to go through the 3 cards that I drew. You saw them when I had them on the screen. The very first one, the Illumicrate book you've had the longest. Since I've only had 1 month of Illumicrate, this is really easy. And that book will be The Book Eaters, which, let me show you how gorgeous this book is. So this is from Illumicrate. It's a special edition. Pretty, like, the spine has the, like, house there. And then the book, I actually, like, adore this book. Like, that is just stunning. And it is signed by, there's pretty in pages, but it is signed by the author Sunyi Dean. So that's, like, probably the easiest pick of the month, right? Because I don't really have any other options, which I appreciate that every now and again. So this is kind of a dark horror novel, sort of, but hidden across England and Scotland live 6 old book eater families. The last of their lines, they exist on the fringes of society and subsist on a diet of stories and legends. Like, they literally eat books to sustain themselves. So it's a story of escape, a mother's savage devotion, and a queer love that will electrify readers looking for something beguiling, thrilling, strange, and new. Feels kind of like a good transition book from October to November. So that's The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. My next card is a book in a format you wouldn't usually read. And my thing that I wanted to do with this is I wanted to make sure I was reading from my actual shelves. So I wasn't going to check out a book that I hadn't read that was like manga or something like that. It had to be something that isn't a frequent thing I read on my shelves. And so this is actually one of the oldest books I've read, and I think it will actually fulfill a prompt for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. But it's Watchmen, which is a graphic novel. And I've started reading graphic novels this year, so this fits with like something I wouldn't normally read. But this is a superhero graphic novels, so it's not really my thing, so we'll see. But I've just had it on my shelf forever, so I figured might as well do it this month, right? And then the final card I pulled was a book with a one-word title. So I pulled a bunch from my shelf that were just one-word titles. So here's the stack I pulled. Stray, Thunderstruck, Gilead, Recursion, Wintering, and Queenie. So that's 6 books. And I put them in a random number generator and it chose 5. So I just picked the 5th one from the stack. And so it's a nonfiction November choice, which is really good, but it's Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May. This is one that I got like during the pandemic, and I think it will have a lot of value to my life. And I wish I probably had it at a different time in my life too, perhaps, in that my husband and I walked a long road of infertility, still infertile, like it's never been fixed. And so this would have been probably good, like, because I really needed to introvert during that period of my life and I got very overwhelmed by things. So I'm very, very excited to read this, and it's perfect because it's November going into winter, just a very atmospheric read for that time. And I'm just excited to see what I glean from it. It was really popular, made the rounds. Like, I saw it a lot on Bookstagram, I saw it on a lot of podcasts. So those are all the books I hope to read this month. If you do not subscribe to my channel, why don't you? And help me grow my channel. I appreciate everybody here. If you've read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And I hope you enjoy what else this video is, because I honestly have no idea. Hi! I just got back from the library and I'm using one of the books to prop up my phone because I'm not set up for recording in my car. But I got The Girl in the Tower, which is the second book in it's a series by Catherine Arden, and I really liked the first one. I just never picked up the second, but someone recommended it to me for the 12 books that I want to read this year. So I guess this is technically another November TBR video. I think this video might be longer than I thought. And then I am also trying to complete my public library's reading challenge, and one of their challenges was a book that their librarian recommended to you. We have like a book chat, and it's pretty awesome. You can put what you're looking for, what you like, and then they recommend books, and you can say, do you want 1 to 3 books? Do you want 4 to 7 books? Like, whatever. She did a really good job. I wanted something for November and December that wasn't going to be super heavy, that I could just sink my teeth into, fly through in a day. And I also said I wanted BIPOC representation in food writing and romance. So, I mean, those are kind of easy hits. If you can get them right, it's pretty great. So the first book I've picked up is Natalie Tan's Book of Luck and Fortune. And it's lush and visual, chock full of delicious recipes. Rosella Lim's magical debut novel is about food, heritage, and finding family in the most unexpected places. So, set in the food scene, found family, like things I think I'm really gonna like, and the cover's really pretty. That's what I'm doing. I'm running to the store. I have 2 book reviews I need to do for some publishers I work with. So Abrams and Harper, I need to review Baking by Feel, which is a really cool baking cookbook, and every chapter is like a mood and then recipes you can bake that go with that. And so I'm going to be making molasses ginger snap cookies. They're like my favorite cookies ever. So I'm going to try those out of her cookbook because I've yet to find a good recipe. And then I need to make a pie crust because I'm going to make apple pie for a recipe for another one by Abrams Books. So it's fall, like I need to go. So I'm going to run to the store, grab apples and some alcohol for just other things. Then we'll see.